What's up, Timmers here. Here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turned 10, 20, 30, and 40 this week. Alright, the film celebrating their 10th anniversary, this was pretty much, I guess you'd say, the Barbenheimer of 2015. First up, we had Mad Max Fury Road, which was, of course, the fourth installment of the Mad Max franchise. You know, obviously, this came out years after the last Mad Max movie, before it done the dome and all. Obviously, you had like Charlize Theron, Tom Hardy, directed by George Miller. Mad Max, and of course, it did got nominated for Best Picture. It won a couple of awards at the Oscars. Mad Max Fury Road is a really good one. It's really entertaining. Nicholas Hoult was terrific. Zoe Kravitz. The action was great. I remember watching this one in theaters at the time. I was blown away of how good it was. Such a really entertaining one. Alright. Also turning 10 is Pitch Perfect 2. The follow-up to 2012's Pitch Perfect movie. This time around, it centers on the, Bella's an all-female cappella sing group who pretty much try to beat out the competing German music group in a world singing competition. It also introduced us to Haley Steinfeld, who, by the way, Haley Steinfeld was a great addition to this. I mean, Pitch Perfect 2 is probably, I think it's actually better than the first film, in my opinion. It was, of course, directed by Elizabeth Banks. She did a good job with this. This music, sing competition at the end was pretty good. It's a really decent follow-up, in my opinion. So, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get a fourth one, but who knows? Alright, other films turning 10, we got I'll See You in My Dreams, which is the Black Danner film starring Sam Elliott, Mullen Ackerman, June Squibb, Rhea Perlman. Where this longtime widow, played by Blythe Danner, begins relationships with two different men, played by Martin Starr and Sam Elliott. I could be wrong, but I believe this was actually the first film that was released by the company Bleecker Street. I could be wrong there. I think this was the first film. I can't remember if there was another one beforehand, but Blythe Danner, was really good in this one. Sam Elliott, was terrific. Really nice little film, worth giving a go. Very underrated. Good flick. Alright, also turning 10 is Where Hope Grows, which is about this troubled ex-ball player played by Christopher Polana, who finds his life rejuvenated through his friendship with this kid with Down syndrome, played by David DeSantis. It also starred the likes of Kurt Smith, Danica McKellar, Brooke Burns, William Zabka. Really nice little film. Really heartfelt. It is, of course, a Christian movie. Yeah, maybe one of the few Christian movies I really quite enjoyed back a few years ago. It's really decent. The chemistry between the two are really good. If you guys haven't seen it, it's actually on Netflix now. Give it a go. Really nice little film there. Alright. Okay. Alright, films turning 20 this week is Kicking and Screaming, starring Will Ferrell, Robert Duvall as father and son who exploit their own son's soccer teams and try to beat the others. Of course, it starred a very young Josh Hutcherson, Kate Walsh, directed by Justin Dillon. Obviously, Will Ferrell's no stranger when it comes to the sports genre. Obviously, he is best known for doing Blades of Glory. Obviously, Semi-Pro. He was obviously tagged Knights and all. He really became big when it came to the sports genre in the 2000s. And Kicking and Screaming was a pretty decent one. It was charming. Will Ferrell's a pretty good one. It's not my favorite Will Ferrell movie, nothing like that. But it definitely had some of those moments there. Alright. Film celebrating their also celebrating its 20th anniversary is Mother-in-Law. This was actually Jane Fonda's first acting gig since early 1990s, because at the time she ended up semi-retiring, and then she came out back out with Mother-in-Law, with Jennifer Lopez, Michael Varden, Wanda Sykes. And it's of course where like Jennifer Lopez's Charlotte Isman when she meets like Kevin Fields, played by Michael Varden, and he of course decides to pose a question, and she soon realizes that his mother, played by Jane Fonda, is not quite thrilled to have a new family member here, and so she's trying to compete for her affections and stuff. It's a really decent, fun little film. Of course, Jennifer Lopez, Jane Fonda was great in this. you know, it's not a great film, but it's pretty entertaining. All right. Also turning 20 is Layer Cake. I believe this was actually the directorial debut by Matthew Vaughn, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess you could say it was really the movie that put Daniel Craig on the map. I think it was actually the film that got Daniel Craig the Bond role, if I'm not mistaken. But Layer Cake is a really decent little film here. Of course, you also had like Tom Hardy, which I believe that this was also one of the movies that put him on the map too. Micah Gambon, Sienna Miller, and pretty much revolves around like a London-based criminal played by Daniel Craig, who works in the drug trade and wishes to like lead the drug business. And Daniel Craig is really excellent in this. Tom Hardy was great. It's really entertaining, to say the least. It's a really decent one, worth giving a go. Really put Matthew Vaughn on the map for most people. Obviously, he would go on to direct, the Kick-Ass movies, Kingsman, and stuff. And Layer Cake is a really decent one, worth giving a go. Alright. Also turning 20 is Mindhunters. Not to be confused with the TV show Mindhunter, the show that David Fincher made. This is Mindhunters, which starred LL Cool J, Johnny Lee Miller, Clifton Collins Jr., the late Val Kilmer, Christian Slater. It was directed by Rennie Harlan, who gave us like Deep Blue Sea, Cliffhanger, and all. It was pretty much like a modern take version of Agatha Christie's, and So There Were None, and all. And it's about a group of FBI profilers in a training are tasked with tracking down a killer to pass their exam, but they find themselves tangled by an actual killer here, and the suspect that one of their members is an enemy is hiding among them. And it's not a great film, but it's definitely a really nice whodunit film. It's like, let's say, Knives Out, before Knives Out became a thing, obviously. And it's a really cool, like, whodunit type film. LL Cool J was pretty fun in it. Johnny Lee Miller. It's not a great film, but it definitely has some of those moments there. Alright. Now, films celebrating their 30th anniversary. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Probably the second best Die Hard movie. If I was to do my ranking of the Die Hard films, number one, obviously, would be the first Die Hard. Two will, of course, be Die Hard with a Vengeance. Three will actually be Live Free. Live Free or Die Hard. Then, of course, 4 will be Die Hard 2. Then the fifth one will be A Good Day to Die Hard. But, yeah, Die Hard with Vengeance, of course, starring Sam Jackson. Of course, you had Jeremy Irons, who played the brother to Alan Rickman's Hans Gruber. It's a really decent follow-up. I always love the chemistry between Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis here. It's such a shame that Sam Jackson never reprised his role in the other Die Hard movies. That's unfortunate. But yeah, Die Hard with Vengeance, who did not love it? It's definitely one of the best action films of the 90s. It's a really decent one, worth giving a go. Alright, also turning 30 is Little Odessa, starring Tim Roth, directed by James Foley, who sadly just passed away recent. He, of course, directed Glengarry Glen Ross, Fear. If you guys don't know much about Little Odessa, it starred Tim Roth, Edward Furlong. Here you got Tim Roth, who plays this hitman named Joshua, who returns to Brighton Beach for a contract killing for like the Russian mafia, and his abusive father, played by Maximilian Skull, banned him from returning after. And Joshua, of course, commits his first killing. And of course, you have like Vanessa Redgrave, who plays like his dying mother. And it's a really decent film, worth giving a go. Not James Foley's best work, but it's a really decent one, say the least. Tim Roth was good. Really decent film there. R.I.P. James Foley. Also turning 30 is Forget Paris, which starred Joe Mantinga, who you might remember from Criminal Minds fames, Captain Moriarty. It was actually written, and you also had like Billy Crystal, Deborah Winger. Here you got Billy Crystal, who plays NBA referee, and Deborah Winger, who plays the working woman whose lives are interrupted by a long and by love and marriage. It is of course, it was directed by Billy Crystal, who at the time was coming off of his directing Mr. Saturday Night. Who remembers that one? And it's not like Billy Crystal's best work, nothing like that. It's not as good as, let's say, When Harry Met Sally. It's not that much of a classic, but it's a really okay one, worth giving a go. Chemistry between Crystal and Winger is really good. Not a bad film there. Alright, films turning 40 this week. We, of course, got Hot Moves. Now, one of the actors in this is Jerry Marin, who of course played one of the Lollipop Gills in The Wizard of Oz. So there's that. And this is, of course, where like four friends who are annoyed how almost everyone else is doing the deeds here, and agree to do what like they can to help each other to lose their virginity and all. So it's of course pretty much like Porky's, American Pie and stuff. It's not as like a classic as those, but it definitely has some of its moments. I mean, the 80s had some really cool raunchy comedy, whether you talk about Porky's and all. And this is this one worth giving a go, so yeah. Alright, also turning 40 is Grace Quigley, starring Katharine Hepburn, Nick Nolte. And the film, of course, is about an elderly woman who is, of course, suicidal, but her suicide attempts have repeatedly failed. And so she hires a contract killer to end her life here. And she views like these acts as mercies, not not murders and all. And Katharine Hepburn, of course, this was like obviously one of her one of her later films she ended up doing. Of course, Nick Nolte was great in this. Her chemistry with Nick Nolte was good. Really, this is a film worth giving a go. Also turning 40 is Streetwalkin, where of course we started a very young Melissa Leo, who obviously will go on to win an Oscar for The Fighter. And of course, it's where like Cookie and her brother runs away from their loveless mother and their abusive stepfather in upstate New York, and arrives in New York City at the train station. And she of course meets this pimp named Duke, who of course with his charm makes her fall in love with him and all. And it's not really true or memorable, but it is of course one of like Melissa Leo's like earliest films she did, and decent one to say the least. Just not really memorable. But anyway, that's pretty much it there. Let me let you guys, which of the films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one is definitely going to be Mad Max Fury Road. 20-year one is going to go to Layer Cake. 30-year one is going to Die Hard with Vengeance. And 40-year one is going to Grace Quigley. Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon.